Hello there everybody, and welcome to the long-awaited sequel to the Birds documentary. The sequel that no one wanted, but you are getting anyways. I am David Chattenborough, the world famous, and here we see a lake. Well, a pond, or I guess, it's a lake, it's pretty big. And this is going to be our starting place for the documentary. We're going to be looking at species of agua birds, and see their many tendencies. Look, there's one right now. That right there is the double-striped water robin. Of course! How could I have been such a fool? Of course they would occur in a location such as this. These birds are well known for performing stupid little dances like this, perhaps as a mating display. Oh look, oh look. Oh look, a second one has come. Impressed by this one's mating display. These birds are well known for their consumption of ammonites, which they do by digging in the ground and getting the shell, because we all know ammonites are extinct. But they also like snails, because they kind of work too. These guys were threatened with extinction once, because the seagulls attacked, but luckily that stopped. What are you doing? They're mysterious birds in their ways. The white-striped pygmy swan. As you can see, it is very small. The smallest of the pygmy swans. And it currently is going around eating tree seeds that grow in the mud. It's a little known fact, but approximately 4 species of grass actually eat this kind of bird. They're not present here though, which is why he is safe and is willing to be out in the open near the grass. That right there is Tyrannosaurus Rex. They have gotten smaller in their recent appearances ever since the extinction of the dinosaurs. They have done this as an adaptation to survive in the new world, where there's less prey to feed upon. They are well known for possessing the largest brain to eyeball size of any chicken species. Now, this is not a chicken, it is a Tyrannosaurus, so how it got that title is up to the experts, and I'm not one of them. Some call him the penguin of the grass. That right there is the horse-faced duck. For our purposes, we'll call him Jean. It might be obvious because of its name, but this species of duck primarily feeds upon hay. It's actually amazingly good at stealing hay from horses. What it does is, as the horse is eating, it flies up, sucker punches it in the face, and then steals its hay. It's quite a badass creature when you think about it. This here is a cinnabon bird. They're particularly tasty when glazed. Now, the ones in the center of the screen are horizon birds, named for their red heads. These ones are currently on vacation away from their day job of killing machines, and they like to relax in the water. Along with this one, the white-cheeked geoduck. The white-cheeked geoduck is named such because they like to get goo everywhere. They're actually excellent makers of it. They're the finest makers of goo in the world. Whenever you find like slime or whatever in products, chances are it was made by one of them. They're incredibly skilled craftsmen and should not be taken too lightly. Who else is here? What are you? Ah, yes, of course. The gray water chicken. The gray water chicken is well known for being gray and is not actually related to a chicken. In fact, is the closest relative of the flamingo. Oh, look right there. There's one of those green-headed billed ducks. Oh, look at him. Look at him go. Be careful of the grass, buddy. I know sometimes I don't think there's any carnivorous grass here, as I said earlier, but it likes to lurk. Oh, look, another one. Oh, no. It appears as though these two are being consumed by the grass. There's nothing I can do to help them. It's too late. There they go. Me and the boys at 2 in the afternoon looking for beans. That right there is a blue blurry bird. The blurry bird is an interesting animal because it has feathers that are specifically designed to reflect light in such a way that the animal appears to be blurred. is a camouflage technique. I mean, just look, you wouldn't have known he was there if I hadn't zoomed in on him. Look, he's basically invisible. Is quite a incredible tactic. This here is a flock of green-headed billed ducks. You can tell how they got their name because of how they look. Their more famous cousin is the green-headed unbilled duck because of its lack of taxes. It is well known that these birds' best friends are cows. Why are their best friends cows? That is something science still hasn't answered. But it seems like it might have something to do with establishing a protection unit where the cows defend the ducks from deadly alligators that lurk in the water. This might not sound like it would be effective, and you are correct, which again is why we're not too sure why they do this. We have a returning species at this lake, another American native bird. Some believe that... oh, there he goes. Off into the wilderness of his natural habitat of the American wilderness. Bum 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 bum. Oh my god, they're never gonna believe me. It's a sunbird. This animal is incredibly rare. It was thought to be extinct only a few years ago. Why did they go extinct, you might ask? Well, because this bird has a bad habit of staying in the sun for so long that they overheat. Right? Because they really love the sun. This presents difficulty with global warming, because as the world warms, there is species out in the sun for too long because they don't have a natural instinct to hide in the shade, and so they die of overheating. This is one of the last of his kind. Look, it's an enormous flock of American native birds. Oh, and one greater blackbird. This is I've never seen such a massive flock of them. They must be migrating. This must be one of their stopover points as they migrate to the far Arctic where they breed. That is the long-tailed Piemag, a close relative of the penguin, as you can tell by its colors. This species prefers to live in the arid conditions of this dirt. They've grown to be masters of eating clay, and the clay gives them all their nutritional needs, but only specific clay. They're very picky, which is why you see him picking only the finest clay. He's like a koala. That is the attack duck, a fearsome beast with its numerous offspring. Offspring, more offspring. That is not an offspring. In fact, this one is the mate of the other one. They are quite proficient at breeding, since there's like 4 offspring. At least. They're very aggressive and will defend their brood viciously, to the point where they will even take on something that is like, I don't know, 150 feet tall and skinless or something. They're quite impressive beasts. They're also incredibly muscular and strong. I mean, look at that. Look how strong he is. That's pure muscle. No feathers, no fluff, just strength. Oh my gosh, guys. Even more American native birds. I'm telling you, this place is absolutely crawling with them. It's them. Again. Oh my god. The child stealers have found me again. This could go... oh my god, there's a third. I'm just gonna slowly walk away and hope they don't notice me. If they do notice me, then please call my mom. She'll want to know. That right there is a western hemlock. Named such because it eats the seeds of the western hemlock. So they gave it the same name to be confusing. Anyways, this bird is currently searching for seeds. They often grow inside the trunks of dead trees, dead juvenile ferns, right? Because the trees are very small, and so he's currently searching for them. Once he finds the seeds, he will consume them and then throw them into a pit of fire. They're helpful in preventing the spread of western hemlocks, which, as we all know, are not real. Now that we are even closer to the western hemlock, more of his feeding capabilities are understood. You see, his beak has the incredible ability to elongate on command, and every time that he sticks it inside of the log, his beak elongates, thus carving a giant hole in which he can then use his laser eyes to extract the seeds. How does he use his laser eyes to extract the seeds, one might ask? Well, that's something science is still wondering itself. Did you know his tail is made of cardboard? Interesting fact. Okay guys, do not panic. But that right there is the Soviet Russian bird. Soviet Russian bird is a communist, here to seek an end to all freedom, especially against the American native bird. They resent the American flag and often destroy it on sight because they're jealous. If you ever encounter one of these birds, be aware that they are equipped with ultra sonar and high sensory cameras. So everything that you do is currently being recorded, including this video. He knows exactly what's happening. The Russians know. And honestly, I might not last much longer anymore now that I have given you this information, but it must be known by the world. I'm willing to take that sacrifice. He might not look that interested, but he is currently staring at me with all the intensity of a lion looking at a newborn lamb born by a dead donkey on the Serengeti. He is not something that should be trifled with. That right there is a white-browed dip puff. The dip puff is a peaceful bird and should not be feared. But it should be noted they are easily angered, and when angered they should be feared, and you should be feared of angering them because of how fearsome they are when they are angered. So in other words, you should use extreme caution and be incredibly fearful of this small bird. Look at his little evil face. He's about to kill me. Now, at this point in the video, I bet a lot of you guys are wondering, why exactly would a bird like to live out here in a salt marsh in the first place? Well, in a similar fashion to the fairy tale creatures in the first Shrek movie, they are here because they are forced to. You see, the greater blackbirds are well known to be tyrants, and they have kicked out all of these birds out of their forest lands because they really just don't like them. They have a personal vendetta against them, and they are just tyranny tyrants. I don't make any sense. So, as a result, all these birds are forced to live here in this utter mud pit. Here we see a small group of tiny spearbills as they attempt to tame the water. You can see they're using violent attacks against it in their desperate attempt to wear it down. Unfortunately for them, the water is strong, stronger than many of them realize, and their success is unlikely, but you do have to give them credit for trying. I mean, just look at them go. Oh my god, there's a whole herd of them. This one's doing his threat display. I think I'm about... It's seen me.